So, folks ask me all the time, why the wilderness? Why wilderness therapy? Why take kids into the woods? It's a great question, and I just want to thank you for taking a minute to look at this video, and I'd like to be able to give you some information that might be helpful for you. My name is Maddy Wilderness Intro. I'm a psychologist and a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I've been working with kids for the last 36 years. We started taking kids into the woods in the late 1970s, and it's a very powerful place. And so what I'd like to have you do is just take a minute, stay with us, and we'll just take a little walk, and I can explain to you why it's so important to bring kids into the woods. So when you bring a teenager into a beautiful place like this, some amazing things begin to happen. You take away the cell phones, you take away computers, you take away the games, you take away even fashion and all of the negative influences of their friends and put them in a place like this. Then suddenly, without warning almost to them, they're experiencing the world around them. They're experiencing this beautiful blue sky and smelling these pines. They're hearing the brook run by, and they can hear birds, in the trees. It's 100% sensory experience. They're in the world and they're experiencing the world, and it's very, very healing, and it's very, very helpful. What we do in therapy a lot of times is a thing called mindfulness and grounding to present. It's an essential therapy skill that we teach in therapy offices all around the world. In the wilderness, it just happens. They step into these places and they're here. They're 100% here. And they find themselves being able to look at these beautiful rocky mountains and walking through that meadow of flowers and all that beauty that's around them. They find the simple pleasures of making a wonderful meal and eating it around a campfire. Things like just watching a sunset. All of those things put them in a place where they become connected instead of disconnected. And that's what's really important, to give them a chance to find out who he really is and what's really most important to her. Things like his family, his future, his talents and abilities, and what he wants to contribute to the world. In the wilderness, we find ourselves and we find each other. Helping a fellow hiker pack up her pack, or even carrying her pack if she's struggling, brings the satisfaction of service and helping. And teens experience the bonding that occurs in true friendship and caring more for someone else and for their welfare than you do for your own. They rediscover the love for their parents and their family and recognize how essential their family is in their lives. Sleeping on the ground increases appreciation for the many gifts that their parents have given them. A house, food, an opportunity to learn and grow. And that appreciation lends itself to healing relationships that have been strained or maybe even broken. But that's not all, because the wilderness is not easy. It's challenging, and it's challenging to set up your tent in a way that keeps you warm and dry. It's challenging to hike miles carrying everything you need on your back. It's challenging to confront a fear about rappelling down a rock, or the fear of the darkness outside of your tent. Let's just be honest here. No one can increase another person's self-concept by telling them that they're strong, or good, or smart. The main way we can begin to feel better about ourselves is by confronting a difficult task and then overcoming it. It's the power of doing. If I do a hard thing, no one has to tell me that I can do it because I've already done it. That doesn't mean that we don't encourage and support and teach and keep safe. But at the end of the day, when you're sitting around the campfire writing in your journal, you know that you overcame a hard thing and that you're capable of overcoming other hard things. It's one of the miracles of the wilderness. We who have been wandering around in the wilderness with teenagers for many years, we know that we can provide a challenging, difficult, and yet wonderful experience that every teen we take out can be successful at and find a strength within themselves that they never even suspected they had. So, welcome to my office. As you can see, this is a beautiful Sibley tent made out of canvas used back in the 1800s. And we have these shelters in various places and use them at different times for different purposes, especially for therapy, so we can have a private, quiet place to be able to talk and stay out of the rain if it happens to come along. Just to wrap things up, 3 reasons why wilderness therapy. Number 1, because of the healing power of the wilderness. Being able to practice mindfulness and being able to heal, grow, find out who we are, and do this in a very gentle and wonderful place. 2, the power of friendship, learning how to serve each other, learning what true friendship really is, and in that process, realizing how important our families are in our lives and being able to reestablish and strengthen those relationships. 3, to find out that we've got more power inside of ourselves than we think we do, to be able to overcome challenges, to stay safe, and at the same time be able to realize that we're capable of more than we think we are. And so that at the end of the day, we can do things that we didn't think we could, and we can translate that back into doing things at home in the same way. So those are the reasons why wilderness therapy and why the wilderness in general. And that's why I take kids into the woods.